And I'm back. And I am still counting. Almost at the end. This is so cool. Okay, so we're almost finished here. 1, 2, and then I have these 3 back pages. I'm just gonna take one out. Wait a minute. I'll just take an extra one out here. Instead of 8, I'll take 9. And then 1, 2, and then I'll have these 2. And there we go. I have, and see how nice and neat it looks because of the kind of book that I used, and the pages tore out pretty clean. So all these pages came out. And of course we all have a ton of book pages. We save these book pages for pockets and envelopes and different things that we do with book pages, pockets, whatever, collaging. So here we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare all the pages, and I'm going to show you how I do that. I'll probably do a few, and then I'll pause the camera and come back again, and I'll show you how I do, how it looks. So because these are kind of together in the front, I'm going to glue them together, and this is how I do it. And I use Fabrifix or Fabri-Tac or whatever, 3-in-1. They're all about the same. I use this kind of glue. It's an acetate-based glue, silicone-based glue, and it doesn't warp your pages. You really don't want warped, gluey, globby looking pages. So I just go not all the way to the end, but I just put a little bead of glue all the way around. And I might even put just the tiniest bit right there. Don't put it in the middle because it's really not any use to, you don't really need to put it in the middle. And I just kind of go like this and make sure that the pages are glued together. And that is one page then. And then now I think what I intended when I did this was I intended to make probably a triple pocket or something. Or I can make a double pocket. I think I'm going to make a double pocket out of this. So what I'm going to do, or a triple pocket, maybe a triple, let's see. Yeah. So I have these, normally you just glue 2 together, and that's one page. But sometimes I make a triple pocket, and I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Now see, this is where I tore the pages out between these 2. So first I'm going to maybe I'll just do a double pocket. You can pretty much work around that beginning. I'm not sure what I was thinking, and I have already forgot. So I put a little bit of glue, just a little bead of glue, and I'm going to take those 2 pages and I'm going to glue them together. Now, if I wanted to, I could just leave this one page as it is, because you're going to cover it anyway. And I might do that until I decide. Or I might end up folding it in and folding it, putting a crease in it, and making a pocket. I could do that later, okay? But I'm not going to do it right now. So I've glued these 2 together. So the next 2, see there in the center is where I tore the pages out. So those are the ones, that's why you're not going to worry about that so much, because you're going to glue these together, just a little bead of glue around the edge. You don't want glue like globbing and oozing everywhere, okay? You really don't want that. So I just glue them together. sure I try to make sure they're, you know, glued together. And then I just keep doing that. Now, if I decide, like for here, if I want to make a pocket, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this, because this is going to only get glued like here and here, and maybe glue this down, and then this is going to be a pocket. So what I'll do is paper clip that. Let me get my paper clips here, because I did forget them. Silly me. So here we go. So I'm going to decide to have a pocket there. So I'm just going to pin these for now with a paper clip. Gosh. And that way I know that I intended to do a pocket there. Okay. And then I'm just going to continue. And I'm going to glue pages together. And as you can see, I'm only doing around 3 sides. You know, just gluing them together. Making sure they line up as best as you can get them, you know. There we go. Not putting glue in the center of the pages because it's really unnecessary. So here's 2, and maybe I want a pocket here. So let's do one of those pockets like I talked about. I want a tuck kind of pocket. So I'm going to put that in there and fold it like that. So what I'll do is cover this and then glue it down. That's why I'm not doing any gluing on the pockets, but I'm marking them so that I know when I come to this page, this is the pocket that I intended to do, okay? And so I'm just doing that all the way through the book, leaving some of them, you know, just plain pages that I can add other pockets to. And it's kind of cool because you can have a book full of pockets, or you can have just a few pockets and do collaging or covering with digitals or scrapbook paper, whatever. So let's say I want to do a pocket where it's, these two would normally be glued together, but I'm going to leave it open and make a pocket there. So I'm just going to mark it with a paper clip. And that way I know I'm going to do that, you know. So I'm putting pockets in here, girls. And see, I'm gluing together wherever the pages were torn out. I'm gluing pages together so that you never know that that was done. You never know that that was like that. And you do this all the way to the end. So I'm going to pause the video so you don't have to watch me glue paper together. But I have done quite a bit already, and I'll be right back and show you when I'm finished. Okay, girls, I'm back, and I have completed gluing my pages and marking where my pockets are going to be. I think I counted about 21 pages, which 20 to 21 pages is very good for an altered book. That's about the maximum that I would say you want to have. So I have glued pages together. I have marked others where I'm going to put pockets, and I am ready to go. So at this point, you can see that it is very nice and even, and that is the way it's supposed to be, and that is the way it will be when you use the right kind of book. Okay, I have 2 of them here. I have this one that I started some time ago, and I have prepared it like in the same way, and I have inked around all of the edges of the pages. I do that ahead of time if I'm going to do that. You don't have to do it ahead of time, but I like to. It just saves me time later and aggravation later on doing that. I didn't like the color of this cover, and I wanted to change it, because even if I put paper on here, I'm going to leave the edges open. So if I'm going to do that, then I'll only paint around the edges. I primed it and with gesso, and so then I would go back around and I would paint the book around the edges, whatever color goes with whatever papers that I choose to put on the front. If I do a fabric cover, then of course it's going to be a little different. You know, the fabric's going to go over the edges and it'll be in here, and then I'll have to put paper over here. So whichever way I do it will be okay. Same here. I'm going to leave this book green, I think, and I'm going to maybe just do like a collage on the front. I like the way this book paper is, and so on the binding paper. So I'm gonna maybe leave it. I might put lace over it. I might just leave it the way it is. I love the green on the inside, so you know, I'm going to use it. If I decide to do it kind of vintagey, then I'm probably gonna ink all the pages ahead of time, like I did in this one. And that is how you prepare for doing an altered book. And then what you do from there, you choose your theme, and you know, you begin to use papers. Now, if you're going to collage with different kinds of papers like you do for a masterboard, then you're just going to collage over these pages. You know what I mean? And you can do that. I have seen lots of videos, and I have done a vintage book where I did that. I took vintage kind of papers and book pages and music paper and different papers, and I did that. I did a swap. Oh, it's been a while now. I did a swap in another group, and I made a vintage style altered book for one of the girls. And I think it might have been for Anita Cox. Anita, if you're watching this video, I think it was us. I think the book that I made for you was vintage, and I think that I collaged most of the pages and then added like photos, you know, digital photos, and just, you know, pockets, and put pretty journal cards and stuff like that in it, and made it vintage style. And I loved our swap. We've done 2 swaps, and I've enjoyed both, Anita, and so I'm hoping we can do that sometime again. Anyway, this is how you prepare your book, and I learned how to do this from Crafty Irina, and I don't see her as much on YouTube anymore, but she did put out videos, back in 2017 maybe, and 2017 or 18, and I remember learning a lot from her as far as how to do an altered book and many other kinds of things. So I do this the Crafty Irina method. So I just wanted to share that with you, and at some point I'm going to start making an altered book, and perhaps I'll turn the camera on and take you along and work on it so that you can see the process. But for now, this is how you prepare your book. So if you want to do an altered book, you might want to go ahead and get it prepared and be thinking about your theme. And maybe when I do it, you might want to craft along. I don't know. So that's just an idea for you. And this is to show you how to prepare the book. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, would you please give me a thumbs up or comment? I'd love to hear your comments. And please subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any future videos that I put out. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. And until next time, bye-bye.